when praises are heaped on you, well, just
Accept
gladly
it.
accept and embrace it.
Thank you very much, Stevenson. Thank you very much.
Big swinger, that one doesn't make contact. And not cleanly collected. Yeah, by the keeper. Yes, cleanly, actually. I thought it may have just bubbled out of his hand.
That's Jivan Andrew.
Yeah. Had a good knock of 48 the previous game. Batted very well. Well, he hits that over the mid-wicket area, and that's gone for a maximum Carapaw hit. He just moved into that one, and there was a sweet sound of leather and willow as they met.
Yes, he really had moved into it, Stevenson. He timed it well and moved into it. And a lovely shot indeed with the result.
Yeah, it really was a wonderful shot. Really, really wonderful. Well played. Wide. Confirmed by the umpire.
So far, these two batsmen, they are consolidating well for the Generals. And I guess the Generals really wish to see them carry on much longer.
And I like to see that because they're young players and they've assessed it well. Again, another wide, so that will have to be bowled over. Yes, I love to see young players assessing conditions and exhibiting a certain level of maturity. And quite frankly, they've done very well indeed. Shot off the back foot, cuts down to backward point. Almost a wideish third man, gets a single. So that completes the over.
Yes, the batsmen are going to have a drink on the field, and why not? Lovely sunshine indeed for cricket. There's a nice breeze blowing across, keeping players a little bit cool. But the consolidation by these two batsmen, Eugene and Jeremiah, for the Ginger Generals thus far has shown that they have some depth in their batting, and if well assessed, you can contribute. That seems to be the next bowler there. That's McDonald.
Had a big heave at that one, looking to hit that over mid-wicket. And might have been slightly beaten in the flight.
Yes, I want to believe he had come on a little bit faster than he thought.
Driven up to deep extra cover. They will come back for the second run and get it quite comfortably to us. That you're having to make coverage across to his right, about 15 yards. So they have not been necessarily scoring quickly, but having lost two early wickets, the idea is to consolidate and come into the back end of the innings. That's when they're going to be explosive. That was hit straight and hard and high, and it's gone a couple of bounces over the boundary line for 4. Went down on the knee, one knee, that's right, and lifted it actually over the bowler's head. And a couple of bounces bisecting both fielders and went into the boundary for 4.
A lovely shot. Lovely shot again from Eugene. Seemed to be getting into himself.
Yeah, growing in confidence too, Ashley.
Definitely so. Lovely to see. Oh, that's glorious.
Tell me, Ashley, that he didn't
What?
glide that.
This is so sweet.
Tell me that it came off the outer edge. Or did he really just open the face of the bat? Let's look at it. Yeah, yeah, really lovely, lovely.
This is
Waited
so sweet.
until the last moment and just opened the face of the bat and glided it down to third man. That was a wonderful shot. It was done with great cleverness and guile. Brought him 4 runs. And it does tell you, Ashley, that it's not always about big hitting, but how clever you are, how you can play with angles, and how well you can time the ball.
I'm really glad you mentioned angles. For our listeners, remember the cricket field is circular. So it means that you have 360 degrees.
That's correct.
All the angles you have, every one of them. So as you rightly said, you have to be clever. And if you're a young student of mathematics, it could also help you.
I was never good at maths, Ashley. I think the whole world knows that by now.
So we see the new bowler in, let's see who this bowler is, 20. Marking off his run. Seems that the Warriors are going to be using the seamers quite a lot. And that's Toussaint. Toussaint, yes, from St. Patrick's. Another of the young seamers. Warriors will really want to get a breakthrough here.
Big swing, takes the outer edge and goes down to the boundary, and that's 4. Not
Well-
where he wanted it to go.
Well, sometimes it is said in cricket, it doesn't matter how it comes, but it's add-on.
Yeah, the sparing look by the bowler, Toussaint. But it's all within the package. You can expect that as a bowler. It's that in the air, it's going down, the catch is going to be taken.
That's a smart catch, Steve.
Great catch.
That's a very smart catch. Well timed, well judged.
Dropped it in short. It was probably a little higher. Good catch. Little higher, and wasn't able to have the kind of control. Not the kind of control that he would have liked. And so, a good innings has come to an end.
They're losing their third wicket. Eugene, the batsman, out. I was just trying to pick up who was that smart catcher. Indeed, it was a very good catch. Ball taken very high on the bat. I think he just went into the shot a little too early. The ball taken high on the bat. And the fielder running in and doing the necessary dive in when it was there, taking a wonderful catch.
Yeah, I've seen catches like that go down. That was very well judged. Again, we just want to apologize to our viewers. Oh, he's bowled him. Pitched up. And looking for the big booming drive. Played all over it. So it's 2-2.
Well, in looking at that shot, it doesn't seem that he had actually played in line. His head was very much high over the bat. Did not keep that shape, and unfortunately, he had lost his wicket. So the Ginger Generals, they lost their fourth wicket
Yeah.
as
Jilks goes. First ball.
so Charles is on a hat trick. That's two cent on a hat trick. And Stuart, the new batsman in,
It's going to be interesting.
very much so.
Actually, would there be 3-3?
Would it be the first one for this season?
If it happens, we'll be the first.
Would it be a Yorker trying to get it? You miss a hit?
Christian Stewart. But plays it quite confidently. Out to cover and gets his first run. Gets a single. So aborts the potential hat trick.
The Generals will still have to continue digging deeper. They have just lost 4 wickets down. And again, viewers, we do apologize not having the scoreboard. Oh, Jeremiah dragging this one, looking to go through mid-wicket. The ball was a little bit outside of the horse dump, so you had to drag it across. The batsmen were able to cross for a single. And they actually got 2 runs there. So let's see what Charles will do. That's 2 cent. 2 cent to Jeremiah.
Turns it in the air down to backward square. They come back for 2 quite easily. Airborne for quite some time, but there's a deep mid wicket. And then there is a man just at forward square, went over the head of the forward square and down to the boundary, close to the boundary. They got 2, comfortably run.
So we have seen the end of another over. And is that Belfont? Strongly built left arm seamer. One of the players out from St. Mark. Oh, the batsman just pulling out. It's a dead ball signal there by the umpire.
It's not something that any bowler likes when a batsman pulls out, but he's certainly within his right to do that if he doesn't feel comfortable for one reason or the other.
Just slightly pulling away and hitting this one on the bounce. First man coming in and picks up quite cleanly. The batsman able to
They get 2.
cross for 2.
Yeah, they ran the first run very quickly, and that was the advantage. And I'm a strong believer in running the first run quickly and putting pressure onto the batsman. Hit down to long on. Fletcher coming across to his right. They get another 2, going across to his left rather. So 2 more. Stopping what could well have been a boundary.
Stuart has a little slight back away, pulling away, and the playing is short. If you look at him when he on the aggression They bowled him. Again, moving away, pulling away, and eventually Belfont knocking the bills off the off stump. Look at this. Just at the top of the off stump.
Made so much room outside the leg stump. And it's always so important when that happens. You bowl wicket to wicket. If the batsman miss, then you're going to hit. That's exactly what happened there. And so stroke goes.
So Bartholomew, Cleveland Bartholomew, this is one of the Grenadians picked on the Winwood team for this semester, and he's making his way in.
And I'm glad that these teams are sporting some young players, youth cricketers, exposing them to a quick version of the sport so that it's a learning experience. And when they can play alongside the veterans like the Neil Pascal and Andre Fletcher, Micah Narain, all of these players are going to be of invaluable mentorship and resources to them. They need to embrace the experience.
Yeah, most definitely so. They have the seasoned players among the younger ones, or the younger ones among the seasoned. Let's see what he does. Ooh, this one passed period. Very, very, very close to the leg stump. And unfortunately, they still mention a wide.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder, whether bowlers are not being treated too harshly in these abbreviated versions of the game, shorter versions rather. Some deliveries just barely outside the leg stump. Course will be deemed a wide.
Steve, it could be subject to correction to me, but I always believe it's very harsh. Because if you're going to a test match and you want to get one so close to the leg stump, at least everyone will be, ooh. Is the umpire going to signal wide?
Yeah, it's a batsman's game.
Nicely played.
Might have been the slow ball too. Just waited on it and turned the wrist over it. Got a single.
Ginger General still a bit struggling. They have lost quick wickets. I feel that is particularly well set to avoid the singles. Another slow one. Beating the batsman, and they were able to scamper through for a bye. So it's the end of the over. And again, listeners, we tore out last year. Just cannot find the scoreboard at this time. Sure, this will be rectified. As we continue, lovely sunshine here at Las Suggests. T10 cricket and its glory, and players are very much enjoying whatever aspect of it they are doing. So let's see what Toussaint to have gotten 2 wickets in 2 deliveries in his last over. In his final over now comes in and bowls.
Oh, there's a call for 2, and Sharma didn't seem to be interested at all. One wondered whether they Could not have been a greater effort to turn that one into two.
I do think it should have been. I think that they have run the first run not that quick enough. Jeremiah, I don't think he had timed that delivery that well and maybe have just turned over that page quickly, thinking about it and forgetting that he has to take a second run. So Bartholomew has Toussaint again to bowl to him. Just moving
Yeah,
across.
there's a call for two. They will get two this time.
And this is much better in terms of the game as it is now.
Hold him. Beautiful delivery. Looking to drive Bartholomew. As to whether he may have gotten an inside edge, not sure. We can get the replay here. But comprehensively bowled.
But Stevenson, he was nowhere near
Yeah, that's
driving this delivery. As it always said in primary cricket, you got to have your foot close to the pitch of the
correct.
ball. And if you're not there, then you open up that window of disaster, and here it goes back, and the Ginger Generals found themselves in deeper trouble, losing more wickets, and Toussaint thus far picked up 3 wickets and seem to be really enjoying this outside day.
Cricket is more than the use of the bat as a batsman. It also involves the use of the feet. How you're going to stretch that pad out accordingly, that is, to get to the pitch of the ball. And Bartholomew certainly didn't do that.
So it's the use of the feet, the use of the bat, and you got to use your head.
That's correct. More so the brain.
Just liking his little action as a bowler. Gets very busy on his final stride, and you can see him all walked up there, and he knows that some way he's looking for his fourth wicket.
It's that down to the long off area.
And it's got caught.
And the catch taken quite comfortably. There was the cry of catch it. Did hit it straight, but not hard enough. I think the moment he hit it, he knew that he was going to be in a bit of a bother. Catch comfortably taken.
And as it's good for the youngsters who are looking on, the experience of Andrew Fletcher taking that catch. Though he's a wicketkeeper, but feeling out there in the outfield. Look at the cup, big cup, in taking the catch. And he knocked Toussaint 3 for 12 with Dennis George making his way out. 88 for 6 in 8.4 overs. So the Ginger Generals, I guess they're still looking to get 100. They still have some time at a rate of 9.96. A pass score could give you just a pass score of 100, but they maybe just looking for a little more with Jeremiah still inside of there.
Yeah, they certainly don't. If you get to 100, it's a sort of psychological boost with 3 figures on the board rather than 2. So they would like to get up to that 100 mark.
So Davis Charles, the new batsman in, and It's 2 overs to go, 88 for 7. Dennis Charles and Jeremiah having a discussion at least.
Actually, just 1 over, Ashley. 1 to go.
Oh, yes, well, the scoreboard had just corrected itself, so it's actually 1 over.
Can they turn this 88 into a magical 100?
So Toussaint finishing with 4 for 12. A very, very excellent performance by the young man.
We didn't see Andrew Fletcher bowl today.
No, I don't think we really had use for Andre today, which is, I would call it gentle leg breaks.
Yeah. That's bowl today. Let's allow the faster bowlers to operate. Should be going hard here. Somebody settling on it. Fletcher, the catch. Taken, gone. Very early, he was saying, leave it to me. I'm going to take this. Let's look at it again. Hit down to the long off area. And he was coming across quite confidently and was signaling. In the end, did stretch a bit.
And nowhere near that ball to play that sort of shot. One that was very forced in by the batsman. And, you know, it's always pressure for the bowler when boundaries is cool of the earlier part of the over, but when the bowler gets a wicket in the very first ball of the over, the batting team is always sent back on pressure. So the neck making its way in.
Ronald
Williams. You know, Stevenson has the name Ronald Williams out there. I remember in Dominica on the 19th, when Ronald bowled his first over, they were asking, where is that speed and that strength located?
Mm-hmm.
But he was really quick that year. I think he got onto the Winwood team on the 19th, and not really known for his batting, but I guess the final 5 balls, he will look to get runs for the Generals, 88. It's not too late to turn that 88 into 100. Got to have this sort of exploits and ingenuity to create something new to your name.
5 deliveries remaining in the innings. And he is running down the track.
The Warriors had used all seamers, tall young men, and they all had picked up wickets. Josh, Belfon, Toussaint, Charles, all gotten into the wicket column.
Charles got good height for a medium bowler. Turned it front of square. They will come back for the second no to mid-wicket. Fletcher came in very quickly. All 36 years of him. And hurled the return to the keeper's end. Pretty fit.
Yes.
Andrew Fletcher. It's always been athletic ability in his genes, so to speak. Catch taken behind the stumps.
This one was very easy for Stevenson, a batsman. These batsmen, tail-end batsmen, they are not particularly all that smart in trying to move on the back foot to get it away, but they are actually coming on the front foot. And balls that are not there for the shot they are playing, keep losing their wicket. 9 wickets down, the final man going in, Jonathan Taylor, who is another fast bowler. And Charles picking up 2 for 15. So the wickets have been shared among the seamers. And they have really destroyed the Generals. 89 for 9 with 2 deliveries. What can Jonathan do at this time?
They certainly didn't bat like Generals this time around.
Not at all.
Diving effort by the keeper. Couldn't stop that one from going down to third man.
So it's the final delivery coming up. 89. Uh, 90, so they got 2 out of it. And we have seen the end of the Ginger Generals inning. 90 for 9, Eugene 45 of 25, Jeremiah 17 of 15. And we have seen the wickets shared among the seamers. Warriors need to get 91 to win this game. And we'll just have to wait to see what happened in the second half.
Well, I think by and large, not that Warriors would be very happy with their performance, and having restricted the Generals to 90 for 9 of 10. So exactly 10 runs per over need in the run chase. And with the kind of lineup that the Nutmeg Warriors have, I think they'll be happy with that. And they do believe, I think, that they should be able to overhaul this total. Not the best performance at all by Ginger General. I think they themselves would be very disappointed in this overall batting performance. But let's wait and see whether they can turn the tide around and give a sterling spirited bowling performance.
Well, we just have to wait and see, but Josh Thomas had really started up well for the Warriors, picking up 2 wickets in his first over, and we also saw Toussaint doing the same thing, picking up 2 wickets in his first over and eventually finishing with 4 for 12. So as you rightly said, we just have to wait to see the approach of the Warriors if they have to win this game.
So the target is 90 of 10 for the Nutmeg. And as to whether they can pull it off, well, we won't know, because cricket is always a game of glorious uncertainties. But of course, when we come back, we have the run chase.
Well, good afternoon again to you, listeners and viewers, and welcome back here to Last Address. We're into the T10 tournament here, Ginger Generals versus the Nutmeg Warriors. Nutmeg Warriors have to get 91 to win after Ginger Generals 90 for 9 of their 10 overs. Good afternoon again to you, Justin, and welcome back.
Screen the picture. You're seeing the one of the landmarks in the parish of St. David, the Virgin Parish, as they call it, the Roman Catholic Church, and all these steeples looming large up into the hills. And one anticipates a rather interesting run chase. One probably expect it, well, I don't want to say it should be easy, because there is no run chase which is easy. It doesn't matter what the total is, these are all runs on the board, and it means that it has to be gotten to win the game. But one do expect that the Nutmeg Warriors should, as we should say, if not pull it off rather easily in the end. We expect that.
So we're going to see right from Sina, right from Sima bowling the first over, and Charles bowling this one. They're already looking quite promising. The total, it's not very difficult to get, but it's going to have some ticking. Again, short outside the off stump, the batsman playing and playing. There is no run.
So it's Dijon taking strike. It's from Jilks with some international flavor, Caribbean flavor in the T10.
Yes, definitely so. The Caribbean flavor, we have seen it in St. Vincent and the other islands. So why not in Grenada too? Just the Caribbean flavor into the spice as it comes in and bowl outside the off stump. Again, can penetrate the fielder.
The important question here is whether we're going to break from what has become the norm from day one, with a wicket falling in the first over of every game almost so far. And so far 3 balls gone. So we have to keep our fingers crossed to see whether we'll continue with what is the norm. One hike out towards the onside and away it goes. So
That's lovely.
yeah.
Picking it up well. Good timing, good placement.
It just shifted from the normal line, which was outside the off stump, to more in line with the body. And Dijon just picked it up and hit it over the mid-wicket area. And for a maximum, so 6 to start. Shot again and similar result. Again, a little too close to the body, you would think.
It's another Carib power maximum. Just asking the batsman to hit me. And he did so. And the score just raced to 12 in 2 deliveries.
Jills doesn't really have the pace to be bowling that length, and the ball is virtually just sitting up. And as I said, asking the batsman to hit me, please. And he obliged. And on 2 occasions, Carib maximum was the result. So we finally break with the tradition of having a wicket in every first over so far.
So at the end of the first over, it's 12. The required run rate is 8.67. The current run rate is 14. So it's that's 13, the current run rate. So the Nutmeg Warriors still they get 78 and 54 balls, which is quite gettable. But as the old saying goes, cricket, the game of glorious uncertainties, so we just have to wait to see what happens. So Jonathan Taylor will pick up the attack from the pavilion end. And Jonathan Taylor, after 2 matches, he have picked up 2 wickets. He has picked up 1 wicket thus far. So he will try to be very economical. Look to get the breakthrough. The captain, Johan Jeremiah, is just having a word with him, just reminding him of the basics. So let's see how he will apply himself.
I think for sure they'll have to probably bowl and feel above what is the normal level if they are to really stop the Nutmeg Warriors from pulling this off today. Of course, our Warrior team, which possess a long batting lineup, and quite a few very established names in there. Of course, been strengthened today with the return of McDonald. It's a very key man in the Warrior lineup. Of course, there is the old man Andre Fletcher. We're not happy having lost a few days ago at all, and certainly wants to make amends. The delivery which is hit high in the air. Well, we didn't have the wicket in the first over. We probably will have it now. And indeed, so
good work from the wicketkeeper, Anil Matthew. Had to do some running. And you look at it again, hit it hard in the air, high in the air. And the wicketkeeper coming from behind the stumps and look the distance he had run and taken the catch. The man in that short position, he did not make a move at all to get a catch. But
well, I guess the keeper would have called for it, and the man with the glove probably, if he can get to it, it's probably the safer option. So Ramdu did look quite good for the short time he spent at the crease in the first game.
$13 for 1.
Taylor with a good start. And it's really strange that in the matches gone there were always wickets in the first over and also in the second over quite frequently. Well, it didn't happen this time in the first over, but very early in the second over we saw the fall of a wicket.
13 for 1.
So they'll have to bowl and feel under the skin if they are to really push this or push the Nutmeg Warriors. It's more like the length probably Taylor would want to employ. Apply some pressure, some dot balls. We force the batters to want to do something different. In fact, quite a high percentage of wickets today would have fallen to deliveries which were relatively short. Taylor, they just again drifting into the body. And then easy single just behind square on the onside. So 13 for 1. Going over number 2. What do you say, Ashley? You say 1 for 13 or 13 for 1?
It's 13 for 1. If you say 1 for 13, I guess the understanding is also there.
So you're not influenced by the Australian at all?
Not at all.
So it's 14 for 1. It's very good over so far. Only a single.
And the ball was just too close for cutting for what he was offering. At least he did retrieve and played the correct shot in the end.
Again, a bit of bounce. And we've had that for the entire duration of the day so far. In fact, in both teams, all the innings we've seen there, appreciably bounce and good pace too. Batsmen really cannot complain about the conditions too much. And there was Javon Alexander just jumping a bit, probably the ball bouncing more than he anticipated, but managed to negotiate. The type of deliveries, Ashley, that sometimes come off the inner portion of the bat and go on to the stump when he's that close to you and making some height. We saw a couple dismissals yesterday, similarly.
So it's 14 for 1. After 2, Javon Andrew yet to get up the mark. And we see a bowling change. Ronald Williams is going to pick up the attack from the far end. And that's where the road is located. I don't know if you have any particular name for this end, but I refer to it as the road end.
Yes, some may say the river end.
Similarly as in Progress Park.
But the road and the river is on the same end, so it really doesn't matter. Just really nice picturesque ground.
Definitely so. That wiry, tall, fast bowler Ronnie Williams from St. Mark out there.
So Ronald from a cricketing crazy village for Fredmud. Slender, very slender individual, slender man.
He had played for Grenada under 19, also represented the Windward Islands, and always a prospect.
Just losing it a shade wide down the leg side. And Javon and Kyle is having a swing at it, of making contact. Of course, it's wide. So one more goes on to the extras.
So a little bit of pressure been built there from the Ginger Generals. Number of dot deliveries. And this is nicely played from Kyle. Just pushed it back on the other side of the bowler and getting a single. He finally gets off the mark after 4 deliveries. And the current run rate had dropped. It's now 6.43. The required run rate is 9.91. So a little bit of seesaw being played there between the two teams, which is going to make it quite interesting.
It's high into the air again. That probably will land safely. Yes, Jeremiah coming around from the deep extra cover area and doing the fielding, but again that is not before they pick up a double. So 2, 18 for 1. We're in the middle, just halfway through the third over. And Javan Alexander and Kyle Ramdu, the two men out in the middle, looking to repair the damage that was done earlier. Again, a delivery driven through into the offside, and good bit of fielding there in the cover region. And no runs can be hard, as I said, Ashley, yes. A few dot balls, which is adding a bit to the pressure. And
73 to get off 44 deliveries. It's still 9.95 runs to get to that target.
Williams wider side the off stump and giving the batsman too much room to freeze him, and just picked up and deposited over the third man area, and another carry maximum maybe added to the total. So
that was Javan Andrew. He moves to 8 of 5 deliveries, 24 for 1. And look at on the replay.
It was really a gift. Wide, it was short, it was wide outside the off stump, and all you had to do is to hit it up and over the backward point area, and it raced away to, well, gone away for 6. Can't afford in a game as tight as that to be giving away easy boundaries. Want to make the batsman walk a bit for it, and again wide, and again outside the off stump, and again a carry maximum. This time it probably just got even further than the previous one, and Williams there being this time deposited well over long off, and a really good over for the Nutmeg Warriors, one which has probably taken off the pressure quite a bit, and at the end of 3, 30 for 1. Alexander is on 14. Ramdu is still on 2.
While the run rate had dropped, the required run rate had dropped. The current run rate had lifted itself to 10. The required run rate 8.71. And Javan Andrew, he moved to 14 of 6.
As you look at it again, really wide outside the off stump. No pressure whatsoever. Batsman, as I said, just freeing his arms and managing to free the arm and deposited it over long off for 6. You can really get away with that at this level. As we see, Eugene. You will take up the attack from the end where we are. This, what do you call it? Where is south here? I don't know. Here is a delivery outside the off stump, beaten there. So John L. Eugene holding off spin. We are the eastern side of the island, Ashley. We would like to say that we are located at the southern end. Or safer to say we are at the pavilion end.
Well, for me, I could just prefer to see the pavilion.
Safer. Actually, very, very safe. Quite a beautiful evening, as viewers can see. Bright evening, and the reach is punched into the offside. Just get the feeling that the runs are ticking over just too easily at the moment.
Yes, definitely so. Warriors up the tempo.
31 for 1, in over number 4. Again, a delivery outside the off stump and banged into the offside and fielded easily there by the captain, Johan Jeremiah, in the cover region. There is no run. So they need to put a few dot ball together. But again, a delivery just pushed into the offside, and the fielder at point, backward point, just come forward to do the fielding, And another single takes it on to 33. So that's all they need to do then, nothing extravagant. The rate isn't an alarming one. Semi delivery. Outside you have someone probably say by the fact that there was some turn actually. Some turn and bunks. So it brings the end of the over, the end of it 31 for 1. Andrews is on 15 from 7. Ramdu is on 4. And Ronald Williams not for 16 so far. Sure he may continue. Probably you'll see a change now from this northern end. Of course we will. And it's the left arm experience. The experience of
Dennis George.
Dennis George, of course. Once probably hailed as one of the better left-arm orthodox spinners in the region. Unfortunately, probably didn't climb the ladder of success as everyone thought he would have. Sure, at some point actually you would have been expecting a lot more from Dennis George.
Yeah, definitely so. Dennis George had always been that. Oh, that's a lovely shot. Well picked up, well timed, and that is went into the boundary on first boundary. Umpire still awaiting.
No ball.
It's a no ball.
And a free hit.
Free hit. So
And did he go for the maximum? No. What happened? Yes, one could have clearly
Yes.
seen the line behind the boot.
it went to for a carry power maximum.
40 for 1. A rather inauspicious start there by Dennis George, one which he really cannot afford. He's probably one of the most experienced bowler in the lineup. And the team depends very heavily on him. And again, this time probably that one went even further.
Well, these batsmen had put on what? The score races on to 46.
Of course, yes, with the free hit, so he had the freedom to really give it everything he got.
So
And
13 runs of 2 deliveries. Wow.
that would have disappeared somewhere into the trees across the road. Did see the umpire coming out with a new ball, but a replacement ball. In fact, the ball has just been recovered. It has been recovered a long way from here.
Yes, definitely so. So Nutmeg Warriors, they require 45 runs in 35 deliveries. Javon Andrew is on what? Some 15 from 8 deliveries, and Kyle is on 16 from 10. So these two batters had really turned the tide around for the Warriors. After we had a little bit of seesaw, as we see here, between ball and bat, but it seems now that the bat is turning to the domination part of it. 11 runs, current run rate, they need 7.71.
I'll be very surprised. And again, hit hard, straight down the ground it goes. One bounce, it seems, for 4. Yes, one bounce for 4. So really, really, really a terrible over. And the type of over that the Nutmeg Warriors really, 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 well, it's almost have wrapped it up, you can say, in this over. It's a really bad over by Dennis George. And the Ginger delivery, which was just tossed up around the off stump. And again, Andrews, who is in a real no-nonsense mood, just crashed away for 6. And will pick up what is another single, a delivery outside the off stump. So it should be what, 47 now for one. And certainly 35 balls. 30. We'll be very surprised if more than probably 30 deliveries are required to get the other 45 runs.
So far, this over have been costing what, some 13, 14 runs?
It's much better delivery by Dennis George. A delivery just on our body off stump. And there was a bit of excitement as the return came in, but the batsman was safely in. That was 451 for one. That would be a wide. 52 for one. So Ramdu is on 21 from 12. Alexander is on 16 from 9. George so far has gone for 19. Just two more deliveries and pumped down the ground again. And caught this time. A delivery which was outside the off stump. And George having to find the last laugh as Andrew or Kyle Ramdu looking to pump it down the ground again. And all he can do is find the fielder at long on, who just came forward and take an easy catch. So that's the end of Ramdu. He's gone for 21 and 52 for 2, probably too little too late.
21 from 12 deliveries. Gallant effort. And the new batsman just make his way in. We'll get that for you. Dennis George won for 19. Macmillan.
McDonald. Yes, McDonald, in fact.
Donald McDonald.
Donald McDonald, yeah. Tongue twister.
Daniel McDonald.
Daniel. Yeah, Donald is not around
a prolific
anymore.
batsman,
Yes.
and he's not around anymore.
Right, yes.
A very dangerous
Right-hander, yeah.
right-hander.
I've had his moments in the T10 tournaments 2 or so, 3 or so years ago.
And at one time,
Early edition.
I dominated the secondary school cricket.
Yeah.
Very good at wicket keeping also from the Reda Christian Academy.
And immediately got it high. Is there another chance here? Of course there is, and it is taken. So 2 in 2. Well, good comeback by Dennis George. Going for 19, but picking up 2 wickets. And McDonald not lasting long at all. Probably still jet lagged. He's coming not too long ago, Ashley. I think probably yesterday he may have flown in. And probably not yet acclimatized.
Yes, to rewind the clock. It's not a St. Vincent now, it's a Grenada now. And losing his wicket, 52. 39 runs to get in 31 balls as the Spice man is now going to make his way in number 72, Andrew Fletcher.
Probably the rest of the game may hinge on how long Andrew Fletcher stays. And if they're able to prize Andrews out, it will probably get rather interesting still. But at the moment, the Nutmeg Warriors are very much entrenched, and it's 52 for 3. They should get the feeling that they should go on to win this and win it rather easily.
Cricket, as we always say, the game of glorious uncertainties. You know that, and that's Eugene.
Yeah.
Eugene will take up the attack for the Ginger Generals. 52 for 3. Fletcher yet still to get up the mark.
Delivery outside the off stump, and Andrew just having a little nibble at it, not making contact. A little more air now and could play it a lot more comfortably. down towards the fielder cover and picks up a single. So the total goes to 53 for 3. Fletcher is now the Spice man, as we should say. He's now going to face his first delivery. Andrew, in the meantime, has gone on to 17 from 11. There's Eugene. Has kept things rather quiet, Eugene. And right away. He's gone again. Well. A delivery tossed up, and there was Andrew looking to go over the top. Didn't quite get hold of it, and holding out in the deep, and he goes, and all of a sudden, the Nutmeg Warriors, they're 4 down.
I think it was a very unnecessary shot. This period of the game, keep knocking it around and taking the singles, exchanging it. Fletcher is there. I think it was. I don't think it was a shot that was really called for at this time. Yes, it was a little bit short, but the power, the timing, and the placement was just not there. Even Andrew going for 16 of 9 deliveries and giving Jonelle Eugene his first wicket. 54 for 4. I want to make it. The scorecard is showing 55 for 3. New batsman in.
It's Andrew, the left. We wait to see, but it's the other Andrew, I should think. So we look at the dismissal again. Kelly's Andrew. Yeah, he's there.
$55 for 4.
This Batman are rather, more or less getting themselves out. And most of the time, the pressures, you got 10 of us, but it may not seem like much, but like everything else, you probably have more time than you think most of the time. Stem Fletcher is off the back foot and smashes it back towards the bowler. Eugene, who at the end of it, he has bowled over for 6 runs, 1 wicket, and certainly has just made things a little interesting. But we just passed the halfway mark, 6 overs gone, 56 for 4. And George, who picked up 2 wickets. In fact, he's on a hat trick. Dennis George.
So the current run rate is 9.33. The required run rate is 8.75. Andrew Fletcher is out there with Kelly's Andrew. And we are expecting to see another exciting over from Dennis George. $35 needed from 24 deliveries.
Still believe that the key man here is Andrew Fletcher, as Kelly's Andrew went for a huge hike somewhere. We're going to hit that way, Ashley. Somewhere into the booth here.
Yes, definitely, but he missed.
This time beaten outside the off stump. The ball coming off the outer portion of the bat. They're going for 1. They're going to come back for the 2nd easily. As it traveled all the way down to the unprotected third man area. So 2 rather runs, rather in the dark for Kelly's Andrew. So wait for George. So danger averted in terms of the hat trick. though it's something which has happened regularly in cricket. It happened a few times in cricket. It's not something we could say is not a rarity. As this one is pulled through the onside, down towards the fielder, did he make it mid-wicket boundary? And another single. And it brings Fletcher, Andre Fletcher, the Spice man, on strike. Kellis Andrew goes to 3, 58 for 4. It's George 2 for 23 so far. Shot to Fletcher, who just tucked it off the pad that easily. And the fielder down at mid-wicket has to come off the boundary to do the fielding. So it's a single to Fletcher, takes him on to 2. Brings Kelly Sanju back into strike. 60 for 4. Delivery given generous amount of flight just around the off stump, and just able to clip it down to long on to bring up the end of another Dennis George over. So much quieter and over by Dennis George, and he will now require 30 in 3. I think the balance of power still lies in the hands of the Nutmeg Warriors. Although you add a wicket or 2 to this, and it will make very, very, very interesting reading.
I think the Ginger Generals are really trying to hold their own. They need to get a over that can really squeeze out the Warriors, put the pressure on Andre Fletcher.
Which, I asked a question yesterday, actually, which of the 2 spices are more aromatic?
What answer did you get?
I still beg the question.
Oh. So you need me to give you an answer?
I expect you to try.
Oh boy, Hector, as usual. We'll get to that a little later.
Okay. Change of bowling at delivery. Off the back foot, stares it out into the offside and picked up another single. And take the total onto 62 for 4. Takes Kelly Sanju on to 6, brings Andre Fletcher back on strike. 29 the countdown. 29 of 17, not too difficult. Especially with one, as I say, with one Andre Fletcher at the crease. So Jonathan Taylor, short outside the off stump, and off the back foot goes Fletcher and just plays it, not in a violent manner, just quietly steers it down towards third man and picks up another single. Goes to 3, brings Kellis Andrew back on strike. 63 for 4, win over number 8. And Andrew Taylor, who has been fairly that's hit in the air, the fielder comes in but cannot get to it, and did not really carry. Beaten in for pace there, team maybe might be a slightly slower ball by Taylor, and he has bowled quite smartly though, Taylor. This is second over, he's gone for only 4 runs so far. So the Ginger, they're probably hoping that Taylor will probably bowl a rather will end well, will probably end strong.
At least 2 that balls.
Yeah.
Again, smart thinking from Taylor, knowing that Fletcher will be looking to go after him. get it up there and get it a little bit wider. And that will bring Kellis to strike 26 yet. It's still 26 to get from 14.
Guess it'll come down to how many they would want to leave for the final over. That one would go high
Hard.
into the air again, and that will go all the way. Well, that will ease the pressure to a certain extent. So it's another high maximum, this time by Andrew. Fletcher may have just decided, well, you go after it for a while I settle myself. We're not under severe pressure. It's only 20 runs now in 13 balls. And we should be able to get that on a canter.
Oh, we got one more delivery to go.
And away he goes again. And this one too disappears over the boundary for 6. So that probably is the over, which really seals the deal for the Nutmeg Warriors, the Ginger Generals. They're 74 for 4, but really and truly
14 to get in 12.
in 12.
Quite
really,
easy.
Well, yes. As I say, they should get that on a canter.
So getting back, I should getting back to your question a little bit earlier. I have never really done any research on this, but from my experience, I want to believe the cinnamon could be the spice.
Would want to argue that. I wouldn't want to argue that. Yes. And I think what is even more interesting now is that there's so much more an awareness of the spices and especially as it relates to medicinal properties.
Yes.
And so in the past we would have just seen it as a spice,
As a
as
spice,
nutmeg
yeah.
or as ginger. Now it's basically has become a staple in everything, whether teas or food preparation. And of course,
These are also a preservative.
Yes. Even Fletcher can't go straight out to Johan Jeremiah, the extra cover.
Hector, you know, there are times people use spice and they use it once and they discard it. No. I don't use spice that way. If I use spice in porridge, take it off, wash it off,
Yeah.
try it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Again, Fletcher on the attack, but could only get one run. So Ronald Williams seemed to have some ploy, and he's trying to keep to it as much as possible. Still 13 to get off 10, which could be quite easy. When, you know, people like Kellis is out there, 19 from 10, and Fletcher, who is a little bit in the dark still with 5 from 7. Ronald Williams will be looking to get a wicket. I think what is the most important thing here is to get a wicket.
Yes, and that will slow the rate down. It will probably create a little more panic among them. But
this
it
one will
wouldn't
go.
be
It
no,
will
because it
go
has
into
gone
the
away
boundary.
So doing it rather easily. 4 to Andrew. And Kellis Andrew goes to 23 from 11. So good little cameo here from him. That was a very good shot. It was outside the off stump. It was
Very good shot,
Good
very
shot.
good
It just-
time,
yes.
and well placed.
indeed just
And leaving Fletcher in the dark.
well. That wouldn't bother Andre too much. I think the most important thing is to register
A
the
victory.
first win for the Nutmeg Warriors, who wasn't so convincing in the first game.
9 from 9. Let's see what happens. Wide. Gonna be? Yes.
They're going to test your memory again. I just said about you take the spice out and you would wash it, you will put it back there for future uses. it reminds me of a story, and I want to believe you would know that story about, well, I don't think I've heard it since I've left school, about stone soup. Are you aware of that story?
Tell me the story.
Anyway, oh, well, just losing his form. There is Andrew going for a hike on the onside, probably wanting to finish it and finish it quickly. No, what you don't want to do though is to give your wicket, give your hand away. You want to boost your average. You want to maybe come out not out 25, 28, 26. That certainly do a great deal for your average.
Well bowled, well played.
Of course, to remind you that T-shirts of your various teams, your various teams that you may be supporting, your various players that you may be supporting are on sale. It's 1 for 100, 2 for 150. I suggest you go for 2 for 150. One for the husband, the wife, the boyfriend, the girlfriend. I don't know who else actually may suggest. Also, well, Fletcher, Andrew Fletcher at his best. Oh, but good work down there on the boundary.
Well stopped. And this is good cricket. Lovely cricket.
So, as I said, I don't know who else actually would suggest, but it's 1 for 100, 2 for 150. I think Ashley will have 2. And so the spectator experience every Friday, Saturday and Sundays. Face 3 balls, hit a 6, and win $100. Bowl 3 balls, hit the stump, win $100. I know there are many guys and ladies around who would have played some cricket in the past who still think that they has the ability to clear the boundary ropes. This is your opportunity to come play and win on the spectator experience over the 3 days of the weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So you face 3 balls, which is more than you need to hit a 6.
So if I want to leave the commentary booth and go out there and become a spectator sort of bowl?
Yes, yes. I don't think you would need 3 balls actually to hit a 6. No.
There is 1 run to get of the final 6 delivery. Andrew Fletcher races on to 11 from 8. Kelly's on 24 from 13. And the final over, which required 1 run to get, and that will be bowled by Jill Glikes. And anticlimax here.
Very well. So Jilks will bowl the final over. See, would you require 3 balls to hit a 6? I don't think so.
He bowls back down
there
the
is it.
wicket, and that's it. That ball is going to go into the boundary. It's 4 runs and victory for Nutmeg Warriors.
So they are on the board, and probably except Ginger, all the other teams who played are on the board now. Ginger is yet to win a game, and Andrew Fletcher will be very happy. They have managed to score a well-earned victory, one which I'm sure they would think that they should have gotten in the first game, but it didn't turn out that way. And as I said, again, Ashley, there are T-shirts on sale for the public. Those of you listening, you can get your T-shirt 1 for $100, 2 for $150. You can ask for anything better. It's the biggest deal in cricket. And of course, there is the spectator experience every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So come out with the family on the weekend and be part of the spectator experience. If you don't think you can hit a 6, maybe you can ask your son to go there and hit the 6. Still win $100. You can go to KFC the next day and it. Or you can, of course, there is a bar which you can support run by the Grenada Cricket Association. So lots of activities, lots of excitement in store. So you come out here and you have fun. And have as much fun and probably more fun than those guys are having out there.
Nutmeg Warriors winning by 6 wickets. A game that was well orchestrated by Nutmeg Warriors. After won the toss, they decided to bowl and they restricted the Generals to 90. And in their own chase, scoring 93 for 4 with Fletcher and Kelly's Andrew both coming out not out. But I must say that Andrew had played a little innings, though small, but a wonderfully well played inning.
Yes, and you look up and you saw that he was at 1.23 runs, just 11 deliveries at one point, and you really didn't see, extra aggression. Did compile those runs quite efficiently, and certainly it has been that which bounded the innings after the loss of a wicket, two or three wickets. Rather quickly.
Yes, so we have seen that end of games in similar manner, similar fashion. Batsmen not ultra aggressive and well calculated, well played to the situation, and at least we have seen a very good 2 games coming up here. The Warriors winning quite easily in the end by 6 wickets.
So we challenge the spectators actually to come to Las Vegas for the remainder of the matches, or if not, if most of you would have worked during the week. On the weekends, you come to Las Vegas, challenge the organizers to have to bring in more seating. I think they would be quite happy to do that and be part of the weekend extravaganza, the spectator experience, that great spectator experience that only cricket can give you. And as we say, clad yourself in your t-shirts, your branded t-shirts, 1 for $100, 2 for $150. And of course, the most important thing, we urge you to be part of the spectator experience. And that's every Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So we really look forward to that. We know it will be fun. And of course, phase 3 deliveries, hit a 6 and win 100. Yeah?
Definitely so.
Yes, bowl 3 balls. You don't necessarily have to bowl it professionally. Or do you have to turn your arm over? You got to win lastly.
You got to turn your arm over. You can't go throwing at the wicket because you say you got to bowl 3 balls.
That's the coach talking. It's not me, it's the coach talking. I was only reading what was written for me on a piece of paper. So you bowl 3 balls and you hit this stump and win $100. What happens if you hit the stump 3 times?
Well, I think once you hit the stump, you are through to it.
And if you hit the stump 3 times, maybe you'll be lifted off the ground.
Most definitely so. In the meantime, just to let our listeners and viewers know that the game had completed. Nutmeg Warriors won by 6 wickets. We are just waiting for the presentation, which we are getting ready to go to join John downstairs.
So take it away from us, John.
All right, well, we are here for the post-match presentation. In this encounter, the Ginger Generals versus the Nutmeg Warriors. I have here with me Johan Jeremiah, the captain of the Ginger Generals. Johan, things not really going your way today?
Yeah, it's disappointing, another loss, but nevertheless, it's just for us to look to assess where we went wrong and look to regroup.
All right, at the end of your innings, posting some 90 runs, did you think that was sufficient?
Just by looking back, I think we were maybe just 10 to 15 runs short, but nevertheless, it's a learning phase for the guys, so it's just for us, as I say, to assess quickly and come back because we have a game tomorrow.
All right, well, good luck to you in that game tomorrow. Let's hope that your batting can really click. You both have some really good batters. Just give your fans a bit of encouragement.
Yeah, I just want to tell the fans so far, thanks for coming out and support, and I just hope that you continue to come out and support everybody in the tournament.
All right, so there we had it, Johan Jeremiah, the Ginger Generals captain. We are going to be speaking shortly to the captain of the Nutmeg Warriors. And then we're going to get into the presentations of the man of the match, the power hitter, and the impact bowler. So I have with me the captain of the Nutmeg Warriors, Andre Fletcher. Andre, a victory, good bounce back from the first loss. What is the mood like in the camp?
Very relaxed, I must say. I wasn't worried about the first game. It's just for us to get that victory, and I believe that what we wanted. So it's just going forward. We have a break, and then we just come back and try to do the good things as long as possible.
How satisfied are you with the batting effort?
Well, a win is a win, but we got room for improvement. I just want the guys to go there and be themselves, express themselves. But at the same time, sometimes situation dictates how we play as well. But I wouldn't fault anyone. I must say our bowling did exceptionally well. Even in the first game, we bowled well as well. And to have Toussaint, under 19 player, coming up and delivering for the team, you know, I must say well done to him. And I feel proud because he's a youngster, and it just shows that we have the talent. It's just for us as a nation to nurture them and try to, you know, encourage them as much as possible and help them to grow. And I'm happy for this tournament, having them, you know, giving them the opportunity to come and play in this tournament. It's a plus. So it's just to build from here on, and I'm quite happy.
All right, well, there you had it. Andre, good luck as you go progress through the tournament. As you said, a rest tomorrow, and let's see how the Nutmeg continues. So we are going to now get into the awards for the post-match, and we have a number of awards to be presented. And to present these awards, I'm going to invite Mr. Lydon Lewis, former member of the GCA, former member, president of the St. Andrews Cricket Council, and he's going to join us to do the presentation this afternoon. And we're going to present the Impact Bowler Award. And Enoch Toussaint, awarded the Global Services Inc. Impact Bowler, Most Economic Bowler. Enoch, tell us about that bowling innings today. How does it feel?
It feels good to be back, man. From the loss yesterday, I feel better now.
All right. You were given the ball a bit of a pressure situation. The scoreboard was ticking over. What was your mindset going into that couple overs?
Well, captain set a plan, and then I executed it.
Yeah. All right. So very well done. I don't want you to go too far because you are also the man of the match for today, and so we're going to present you with that award right now. All right, and so now we are going to present the Carib Power Hitter of the match, and I will invite Alin Ramdu to come and to receive his award. All right, Alin, Ramdu. So you came out with a goal in mind to really put a good score on the board. You seem to be clearing the boundary really well. What's your thoughts on the wicket and on the game?
I mean, it's a good game, you know, the wicket. You know, it's tough for the bowlers because, you know, the boundary is small, the wicket flat, you know. So I think we have the upper hand as batsmen. So, you know, I just back myself. I wait for my matchup and I executed.
All right, so this is your second game in the tournament. You seem to be getting off to some stats. What's the plan from here on in?
I mean, well, starts, is only to convert after that, so just, keep backing myself, keep believing, and, trusting God and keep going.
All right, so that was your Carib power hitter. And so this brings us to the end of the post-match presentation. And we want to invite you to be with us tomorrow. We're here again at the Lasages playing field, and we're going to bring you some really exciting and interesting matchups. So from here at the Lasages, CR John, Ashley Cummins, Justin Hector, Stevenson Wom, production crew, cameramen, everyone, the fans that have been supporting. See you tomorrow right here.